Today we are looking at some of the most dangerous and wildest places people actually chose to live. From the coldest places on Earth to the hottest, and others infested with polar bears. Let's take a look at these places and more, only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have Svalbard. This is a group of islands located between mainland Norway and the North Pole. In fact, it has been given the name as one of the world's northernmost inhabited areas. Just over 2,000 individuals live there. In fact, there's more polar bears living there than humans. And sometimes the bears like to wander into the town. And if you want to leave the outskirts of the town, you have to carry a firearm in defense, just in case one of these bears get hungry and choose to attack. Not only that, but this place has very long days and very long nights. From April to the end of August, the sun never sets. So it's literally sunlight for 24 hours a day. And then during the winter months, you get 24 hours of darkness. Honestly, my sleep schedule would hate me if I lived there. In our ninth spot, we have Oymyakon, Russia. This town is said to be the coldest town in the world. So next time you complain about the weather, just know that there are people living here and having it 10 times worse. So their average daily temperatures are negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit, which is negative 50 degrees Celsius. This town is so cold that their name literally translates to pole of cold. On top of that, their ground is permanently frozen, so they can't really farm or grow crops. This restricts them to mainly eating raw, frozen fish or meat. It also means that they can't have a plumbing system because any water in the pipes will freeze. So they rely on outhouses. And you know how cars tend to die because of the cold? Well, they have to worry about that constantly. In fact, they need to have their cars continuously running if they're outside, or they need to be placed inside a heated garage. Also, if they're outside wandering around, they have to worry about frostbite. They can't have any skin exposed. Currently, around 500 people live there, and I don't know why, honestly. Not only is it freezing, but the town faces 21 hours of darkness a day. So, talk about depressing. In our 8th spot today, we have Coober, Pedy, Australia. Now, I won't lie, this next place is pretty fascinating. So, Coober, Pedy is an underground town in Australia. Yeah, you heard me. It's underground. They live underground. Now that's because this area is known for its extreme heat. So back in the day when they didn't have electricity and fans and air conditioning, miners in the area would remain underground to escape the heat. Then eventually they were like, what if we just live underground? And that's basically how the town was formed. Currently around 2,000 people live there, and it's not just a bunch of homes. No, you got a full-on hospital and church and shops down there. They also have their own government as well. Now, when you are above ground, they actually have warning signs telling people that there are unmarked holes, so you don't just, fall through someone's chimney and end up in their living room. Not gonna lie though, this place would be really cool to visit. In our 7th spot today, we have Atacama Desert. Some areas in this desert haven't seen precipitation in 400 years. That's how dry it is there. In fact, its soil is drier than any other on Earth. So dry that no organism can live in it, meaning they can't even farm because all crops would just immediately die. With all that being said, this area is home to the Atacama tribe. They've been living there since before the Inca Empire. In order to survive, farmers lay the horns of freshly killed cattle to attract insects, which then fertilize the land to increase crop yields. Not only that, but they capture moisture using fog nets in order to create water. So it's pretty clever if you ask me. Moving on to number 6, we have Dallol, Ethiopia. Now this town has been given the name the Gateway to Hell, and that's because it can reach temperatures of 145 degrees. In fact, due to its heat, it is said to be the hottest inhabited place on Earth. One reason why it's so hot is because it sits above an active volcano. It's so hot that if you stand in one place for a few minutes, it could literally melt your shoes. So you might be wondering, if it's so hot, how do people there even survive? Well, they paint their homes and objects so that it will reflect the sun. But as of now, it's a ghost town. No one lives there permanently, but people do go there to visit. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Migingo Island. Migingo Island is a small island located on Lake Victoria, which is the largest lake in Africa. How small is this island, you ask? Well, it's only 2,000 square miles, which, if that means nothing to you, it's less than the size of a football field. That's how small it is. But there's still about 500 people living there, and they're mainly fishermen. But since there's so many people living on such a small island, it's incredibly packed. Houses are crammed together and are made from tin and any other material that wash up on their island. Yet, they still manage to find room for 4 bars and a hair salon, you know, the essentials. Now, the main attraction to this island is that it's home to tons of Nile perch fish. They can catch way more of this fish from this island than anywhere else. It was said that the first inhabitants came to this island in 1991, and that's when the island was only covered in weeds and snakes. Nowadays, it's just overwhelmed with all things fishing related. Coming in at number 4, we have Kerguelen Islands. Located more than 2,000 miles away from civilization, you got the Kerguelen Islands. These islands are located in the southern Indian Ocean and have been given the name the Desolation Islands. And that's due to how remote they are. Like I said, they are 2,000 miles away from Africa, and the only way you can get there is by a ship. But this ship only operates 4 days a year. Not only that, but the weather there isn't great. They get rain, sleet, or snow 300 days a year. The only people that dare to live there are French researchers. 50 stay there in the winter, 100 in the summer. Besides them, they have no permanent residence. In our third spot today, we have Medog. This is the most remote county in Tibet. The only way to get there is by a single highway. But before that highway was built in 2013, the only way you could get there was by crossing a 200-meter long suspension cable 100 meters high in the air. And in order to bring supplies in, they had to carry it in and out by hand. Now, there have been attempts to create more roads or highways leading into this area. However, a number of mudslides and earthquakes have taken them down. Moving on to number 2, we have Amundsen Scott South Pole. Located 9,000 feet above sea level on an ice sheet, we have Amundsen Scott South Pole Station. This is a station that the United States use for scientific research. This station is the only inhabited place on Earth where the sun is continuously visible for 6 months and then is continuously dark for the next 6 months. As a result, they say they only have 1 day and 1 night per year. Not only that, but the weather there is very frigid. The temperatures can dip as low as minus 90 degrees, making it one of the most coldest places on Earth. The only people living there are 50 to 200 researchers, and their food and supplies are dropped to them by cargo planes. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Longyearbyen. This is the world's northernmost settlement. It's located in the Svalbard archipelago, which we previously talked about. Now, what's wild about this is that they have a very unusual rule if you want to live there. Their rule is no dying. That's right. And this is because of the permafrost and sub-zero temperatures, so it can easily preserve a body, which they really don't want. Also, it's hard to bury bodies there because obviously the ground is frozen. So as a result, people that are dying are flown to Oslo to die there. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let's move along to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video Top 10 Unsettling Signals from Parallel Universes That No Human Can Solve Part 2. Odyssey Davis commented, if you're the woman who feels she died in the accident on February 20th, 2022 when her car crashed over the guardrails and landed in the water, this happened to me and I've been too scared to tell anyone but my husband until now. I'm freaking after hearing this. I'm freaking after hearing that. Honestly. 2 people having the exact same thing happen to them, or they think they died by this car accident and then they wake up and they're not dead. Something's going on here. Glitch in the Matrix, we live in a simulation, something. I'm confused. You're confused? I'm confused. That's Fez from Euphoria. SWS commented, I think I woke up in a parallel universe at the beginning of 2020. Anyone else feel that way? Me. Definitely me. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see ya. Bye.